Hi, everyone. 2 weeks ago, I helped create an improv act with 4 boys in a scenario where they had to figure out how to solve the problem of being lost in an amusement park. They weren't given a script. They were simply given a card with a character they had to act out. One of them played the role of a lost boy, and the other boys had to either help him or distract him from finding his parent. My favorite character emerged when one of the boys improvised a drunk guy who had wobbled off a ride and tried to get the lost boy to hang out with him. I didn't know he had it inside of him. He revealed a new side of him, and I got to see different characters and personalities I hadn't seen before. And amazingly, this was the case for everybody acting that day. Why was this meaningful to me? Not because I had made this happen, but because these boys have autism. Autism is a neurodevelopmental disorder that affects 1 in 68 children in the US, and is characterized by having difficulties in social interaction and communication. After looking at the landscape, I decided to focus on tweens or pre-adolescents between the ages 8 to 12 with high-functioning autism because they're an underserved group of children in integrated settings, transitioning from play to decision-making. During this time, tweens of all abilities are going through body changes and developing new emotional desires. However, I was mostly interested in their social development. You see, tweens are at an age where they start to desire to be in a group, care about how others perceive them, and build groundworks for future socialization. And this is the same for tweens with autism. They have these social needs and desires. However, in many cases of autism, tweens oftentimes have a hard time making eye contact, initiating conversations, and having empathy towards others. While these things are not developed correctly, tweens may later have a hard time developing social competency that could help them interact with others later in life. Statistics say that by the time children with autism are in high school, 40% of them do not engage with others outside of school. And parents are concerned that this will lead to isolation. And they need to see their children interact with others to know that they have the autonomy to make decisions and build their own community. In order to prepare tweens to become engaged citizens of the future, tweens with high-functioning autism need to prepare themselves for social situations and conversations they may face later in their lives. So tweens of average ability develop affinities, which are strong likings or attachment to something. This is not that much different for tweens with autism, except it is so much more exaggerated for them. Though it is hard for them to gauge with people, tweens with autism have strong empathy, strong bond, and feelings for their affinities. Ron Susskind, a journalist and author of Life Animated, a memoir about reaching a son through autism, said that parents and medical professionals are now recognizing that affinities are the gateway to enter the children's worlds. I made the hypothesis that finding a common affinity will help tweens with autism advance in socialization. During my research, I made the assumption that common affinities for tweens were animated characters and superheroes. But after talking with them, I learned that their biggest affinity is Minecraft. Minecraft is an interactive digital game where players create a virtual world by collecting blocks of material and building structures in a 3D environment. Players pick an avatar, and they have the choice to play in their own worlds or with others in a shared world. There are currently more than 100 million Minecraft players all around the globe, and the autism community is heavily immersed in this game because people with autism are visual thinkers, problem solvers, and feel comfortable interacting with others behind their avatar and through their creations. I wanted to learn more about Minecraft, so I went to a Minecraft workshop at Tech Kids Unlimited, a nonprofit that teaches technology and software to teens and tweens with special needs. And I learned that one of the advantages of Minecraft is that it is a catalyst for real-world conversations, and that can be very difficult to carry out without prompts or initiators. The students were helping each other how to play and adding on to different discussions. This was a key moment because I realized that tweens with autism can transfer from the digital world to reality. I learned that tweens with autism can socialize in a way that doesn't interrupt their affinity, but adds on to it. I leveraged Minecraft and use it to add layers that will better prepare them for social topics in the future. This is how I created Playcraft. Playcraft is a conversational tool used during Hangouts that go hand in hand with the game Minecraft to help tweens with high-functioning autism advance in social competency. I worked with an occupational therapist to develop a set of social topics that will help tweens exercise the ability to socialize with others in increments. It is designed so that these social topics have different levels of difficulty. I converted the social topics to activities so that they could be either played in Minecraft or in person. The easiest level is a problem-solving activity that requires collaborating with others and building a team of decision makers. As the levels get higher, players are challenged to make autonomous decisions and choices. And ultimately, they can get to a level where they can interview each other, which encourages them to initiate their own conversations and express their point of views. Now that you know the context of the cards, this is how it works. The first 2-3 hangouts or get-togethers require a facilitator. This most likely will be a parent, and this will take place in someone's home. The facilitator chooses a social topic to focus on. Then he or she will work up a level of difficulty at each hangout. The players get together and set up their computers with the multiple player servers so that they could all play in one environment. Then each player can take turns drawing a card and simply follow the instructions given on it. In my first workshop, I learned that having a shared goal brings tweens back to where they belong. We had players meander from the rest of the players, but when they were reminded of the goal, they came back to their designated areas and they expressed that they needed to be with their group. They were also able to recognize each other's strengths when prompted to pick up different roles. But a pivotal moment was when I play tested with the same group a second time, and the boys had a discussion about a social topic without having to actually play Minecraft. Afterwards, the value I saw came from the parents' reaction. A parent who had watched one of the testings said, "It's amazing how focused the kids are. They're actually having a deep conversation and they're not fighting." A mother and app creator said that Playcraft does exactly what digital games lack. It allows kids to walk out of their hiding places and enter each other's worlds. These feedbacks confirmed to me that tweens are learning how to speak about different topics, and they're having in-person dialogues, and having shared goals cuts down conflict, which actually helps them build empathy towards each other. In addition, professionals in the clinical and ed tech fields find value in Playcraft because they recognize that Playcraft can be an aid in social development in smaller communities outside of schools. The occupational therapist who helped me develop the content of the cards mentioned that she could see Playcraft being beneficial in her therapy sessions. Similarly, the creator of the educational version of Minecraft, called Minecraft EDU, said that he sees Playcraft being an important tool as his company talks about expanding their reach from educational institutions to homeschool programs. I decided to develop an open source site where parents and therapists can print out their own Playcraft cards and use them outside of school, whether it's for an intimate hangout or for a fun educational activity. In order for Playcraft to be sustainable and to encourage tweens to take more ownership of their hangouts, my next steps are to develop a server for Playcraft with a split screen where cards will automatically be drawn for each player, and their incentive to use the cards would be basically having more screen time. Socialization can be difficult, and the future may seem uncertain for people with autism. But I believe that leveraging affinities can disrupt potential isolation and advance the ability to socialize and communicate with people, especially for tweens with autism. Designing Playcraft taught me that it doesn't require one to reinvent the wheel in order to meet a fundamental need, but to be conscientious of what users are already engaging with and to simply meet them there. Thank you.